Welcome back, guys. We got another deck profile here. This time with what's your name?
Mahmoud Shahid. It's
right.
unpronounceable by anybody. Don't worry about
That's cool. That's cool. What were you playing?
it. I was playing Heroes.
Are you a hero? Are you?
I mean, aren't we all at the end of the day? You know?
No, we are not. All right, get into the deck profile, bro. Let's go.
Well, I was playing a hero deck in my tag team match today. Kind of carried the team, even though my friend was doing Madolches. That was fun.
And what did you guys do? What was your ending score?
We were undefeated.
So XO.
XO.
All right.
Which was pretty awesome.
For the tag team tournament here at Guardian Games.
That's correct.
Which is every second Saturday?
It's every first and third Saturday, although they are starting to do them every week. So
all right, guys. So
come over here if you want to do some tag duels. It's fun.
All right, guys. So let's get into the deck profile.
Alrighty. Well, when it comes to heroes, there's some things that are pretty standard across the board. 3 Ferris, 2 Vion, 2 Increase. None of that needs to change. I mean, if you decided to all of a sudden start running Exceed or Link monsters that weren't heroes, maybe you would take that out. I feel like you're doing something stupid at that point because it's just such a good way to get all the monsters you need on your board, get your searches, get your polymerization to hand. Okay. None of this ever needs to change, in my opinion.
Even after Master Rule 5?
I'm going to say even after Master Rule 5, because every part of this has something that I love about it. Increases graveyard effect is just as good as his on-field effect in some ways, just because if you do end up getting hit and you manage to survive, being able to bring him back and real quick just say, hey, I'm gonna tribute this Stratos I summoned to get my searches off. That can save the match for you. And having two of them is not a bad thing because you can always send it off with Ferris. That's probably the best part of Ferris is that he turns bricks into extenders. If I'm making sense when I say that. Mm-hmm. And then Vion is just good because even if you do have him in hand, normal summon him. You send your girl Shadow Mist to the grave, you get a search off, or send your Malicious, you can go into Cross Crusader. This works out perfectly for me because even this way I'm not seeing it in the hand as often when it comes to Increase in Vion. And even if I do see him in my hand, it's not necessarily a break. And then, since that's the Vision Hero package, from there, 3 Stratos. Now, some people are putting him to 2, and the only reason I would ever put him to 2 is if I decided to run less cards in my deck. This is a 47 card deck. A lot of hero decks are running between 44 to 47 cards. Primarily because of that, I would want to run 3 Stratos so that I can guarantee I will see it in my hand as often as possible. I mean, he's just way too freaking good. He's the original fantastic monster searcher, and and if you manage to get the effect off at the right moment, he's your back row popper. You can never go wrong with it. Man, plus he's just cool as hell looking, which is important for superheroes. All right, it's all about the costume.
Time in prison will do that.
Malicious. God, when he was at 2, he was still damn good. Now that he's back to 3, he's pretty much perfect. Being able to send him to the graveyard off the effect of Ferris to get to start, getting your plays off, even if your opponent imperms the Ferris, you can still have a Mally to fall back on. If you send him to the grave off of Vion, you still got your plays going. Might be explaining more than I need to, because who needs to explain why Malicious is good, right? After that,
there are some younger duelists that watch the channel, so this can always help them.
That's true. And you know, the thing with Mally is that now that we have cards like Dark Calling and stuff like that to take advantage of it, Mally is a little more useful in a hero deck than ever before. As part of that Destiny Hero thing, I'm running 1 Celestial. Because when you fusion summon a Dystopia with him, you get to burn your opponent for 16. And if you do need the draws on the next turn, he's a free pot of greed. 1 Dynatag. Dynatag is mostly known for the fact you can manage him to boost your Dystopia, and to make it a free popper. But he's also great if you just want to save yourself 1 turn of hurt. If you have him in hand, you're about to get hit by something, you can discard it, make you and your opponent get hit with 1,000. That alone can save you as much as anything else. Then, of course, I mean, Plasma. Plasma is so freaking good. He's a skill drain, obviously, except you can still make your plays, and then you can steal your opponent's monster. One thing I really love about him is the fact that he's not. Is the fact he's way easier to summon than he used to be when I was a kid. I mean, I've been in love with this guy ever since I watched GX as a kid, and Plasma has never really stopped being useful in my eyes. But now more than ever, with all the cards running around that have effects that you find dangerous, don't need to explain much more than that. And then we have the rest of the Elemental heroes. Can't believe I left these from us. Liquid Soldier. You use Liquid Soldier as a polymerization or a Miracle Fusion target. You draw 2, discard 1. That is fantastic. But the other effect that I've found myself using more often is his first effect, where normal summon it, special summon back a hero from grave that's a level 4 or lower. That can end up saving you in an unexpected way. If you find yourself wanting to pop back row with Stratos, let's say your opponent has a zombie world or any other card that is messing with your plays, being able to special summon back a Stratos to just pop that one key card can save you. And then of course you can bring back Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is at 2 right now. I feel that's the correct ratio. She's great. She's okay to have in hand, but if I end up having 2, it's really bricky, and I usually want to have at least 1 in the deck to take advantage of. And then of course there's the fact that if she's special summoned for any reason, including Liquid Soldier or Solid Soldier, then I get to search a mass change from the deck. Now keep in mind those effects are once per turn, so more often than not I'll want to depend on the mass change effect. But the fact you can search any hero when it's sent to the graveyard comes in handy 1,000 times.
Take 400, right?
Now, I mentioned Solid Soldier for Shadow Mist. Let me know if I'm going too fast. But the great thing about Solid Soldier is that when you normal summon him, I would really recommend, if you're facing off against a hero player, stop Solid Soldier if you can. If you have an imperm, if you have something that will just lock things down right then and there, I will recommend stopping Solid Soldier, because otherwise your opponent's going to pop off like crazy. And the other effect I like that's great about him is that if he's sent to the graveyard as part of a spell card effect, then you get to special summon something back. For example, Shadow Mist. So you got your. So one of the greatest things in the world is to use polymerization with Liquid and Solid Soldier, because you get to do all sorts of crazy combos with different there, which I'll go into more once we go to the extra deck. Evil Hero Dusty Gold. The boy is good. The boy is expensive, but the boy is good. Discard it. Search out a Dark Calling. You can search it off of things like Stratos and Shadow Mist. One thing that's interesting is that I've sometimes normal summoned him against there can be only one boards. Like if someone has there can be only one, don't forget a Dusty Gold is a fiend, so it's not useless to normal summon it if you just want to swing over something. Keep in mind, Inspector Border is only 2,000 attack, for example. There's all sorts of things it's useful for, but Dark Calling is what he's most famous for. Then 3 emergency calls. I was thinking about running 2, but my deck's a little bigger, so I want to get as many searches off as possible. 3 has been working very well for me. Shout out to my brother Abdul, who, well, he's not really my brother, but he's my brother from another mother. He got me the secret rares.
Ooh, yeah, they're beautiful.
Yep. That max rarity bling.
Then, sorry, I forgot about this. My Honest, we were going to go into spells, but I forgot my Honest Neos. Honest Neos is great, because it's an Honest, but the fact that it's a consistent 2,500 attack boost is always good, not just for the OTKs, but also as protection. If you summon plasma, people sometimes try to run over it. Hold on to an honest in your hand if you don't have any other way to boost plasma.
Yep, they'll honestly regret it.
Now, I said the E-calls, but here's the fourth E-call. Or I guess the fourth Rhoda, depending on your point of view.
What? Not a first edition Ultra?
Look, we gotta make the budget cuts where we can. Some stuff we got have priority. Look, I did just upgrade this to a super, so I'm still feeling happy about that. But yeah, Rhoda's fantastic. Put him back to 3. Don't actually do that. Please, Konami, don't listen to me.
Yeah, put it back to 3. That way we can play full power Satellar's. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'll talk to my guys in Konami, see what they can do.
Just gotta talk to Yugi Nono. That's it.
My hero lives. I had a common. My boy Rodrigo hooked me up. I love a hero lives.
Not an ulti?
Well, it was a common at first. The one reason why I would ever side out a hero lives is time. I do not want to draw into this in time. I do not want to have this in time. This is great for first turn, the first duel or second duel. Get rid of it in the third. Do not mess around with that. But being able to special summon a Shadow Mist or Stratos right when you need it most is so fantastic. This I just did. You're gonna make fun of the rarity, aren't you? 1 pot of average.
Yeah, common.
I got it out of the Shadows.
What is that, a structure deck?
Yeah, it is. It's an odd one. I actually don't use it that often. If I was going to pick anything in the deck to get rid of, it would probably be Pot of Avarice to trade for Pot of Acquisitiveness. I find myself banishing Mally's a lot, banishing Ferris off the effects of Ion. So anytime I have this in hand, it's live. Pot of Avarice, I always worry about using it because I want to have certain things in the graveyard at the most important times. It's great if you're coming towards the end of the duel and you're worried about getting card advantage, but otherwise I would definitely use Pot of Acquisitiveness over Avarice.
So what you're saying is they have potential.
They have potential.
Potential.
But if I'm going to recommend one over the other in every hero deck, it's Pot of Acquisitiveness, because you're always going to have heroes banished, and returning 2 Mallies and a Ferris, makes the last Mally in your graveyard live again. So you just keep extending. Beautiful. Now, the board wipes. Lightning Storms. I know, not Prismatics.
But still, $125 cards each, so what will forgive you?
I do love the Lightning Storms. I mean, there's so many times where, because this deck is a going second deck, and I don't know if I have to explain why having a Harpy's Feather Dusters or a free Lightning Vortex is great. But just in case my opponent is running something in defense, Raigeki. These are my board wipes. The only card I can think of that I would ever replace them with is
another Lightning Storm.
Another Lightning Storm. But it is great when you draw into 1 Raigeki and 1 Lightning Storm,
Okay.
Activate Lightning Storm. Oh, your opponent has a Trigate Wizard. Negates it. Alright, fantastic. Raigeki. What? Nothing. Alright, great. Let me just start extending and playing. Otherwise, just against back row decks, I don't have to explain why Harpy's Feather Duster is so great. Just get rid of all those traps. Get rid of all your Guru stuff. It's fantastic. Then we got the Mass Change. Mass Change is fantastic for multiple reasons, but the number one is the best hero fusion monster in the game. I'm gonna set one of these aside to talk about it later, but Mass Change is also great because if you say normal summon Stratos, your opponent responds. Activating a Mass Change when they imperm your Stratos so they can dodge out of there, get the advantage of the Stratos search, I cannot overstate how useful that can be. Now, we also have Call by the Graves, because I am terrified of Droll and Lockbird and Ash. Just please stop Droll and Lockbirding me. Why did Spiral bring back Droll and Lockbird? You sons of a... No, I'm not going to say it. You sons of a Yugi, making good plays in your deck profile. Now we have the bricks. Polymerization, Dark Calling, Miracle Fusion. I don't want to see these in hand.
Notice not alternative artwork.
We're going to pick that up. We're going to pick that up as ASAP. I mean, I do love polymerization if your opponent has something that's immune to destruction, because at that point you can activate polymerization immediately, swing into that card 3 times per game with Vision Hero Trinity. I'll talk about that more later. Dark Calling, I would rather search this off than draw into it. If I have to use it, I can. But once again, these guys only run 1 because I do not want to draw them. Great cards when you've actually searched them out in the right moment. Otherwise, you're thrashed. As opposed to Fusion Destiny. Ah, so beautiful. Something embarrassing I did was, for a brief period of time, I played around with not using Fusion Destiny. That was a mistake. Having a double Foolish Burial, having a 1-turn combo, even if you are locked into dark monsters with it, Fusion Destiny is definitely one of the best cards in this deck. I would highly recommend grabbing copies as soon as possible if you're playing a hero deck. It's probably the priority over any other fusion spell besides polymerization, just because you get to send off a Mali and a Celestial, make your plays. You can send off a Celestial and a Dystopia, make your plays. If you have to, you can even send off a Plasma to the Grave and do all of the different combos and wonderful things that heroes are known for. Now, I'll talk. I'm going to talk about some weaknesses later on, but sure. In the meantime, the Infinite Impermanences. This is going second deck. If I have to go first and I want to use Infinite Impermanence, I'm happy. I get to lock out a zone for my opponent and get rid of their cards. But I also like the advantage of, say, using Infinite Impermanence on a window, using Infinite Impermanence on an Appaloosa. And if I do know my opponent's deck, if I'm playing, say, a zombie deck, a normal summon Unizombie, activating Infinite Impermanence on that kind of locks them down for a bit. I might be explaining more about Infinite Impermanence than anything, but the fact that you have a free way to negate one of your opponent's monster effects while they're on the field is always fun. Now, we're going to go to the extra deck. Hands down, the best card in the deck. Good enough that I want to start with it. Master Hero Darklaw. It's
not
probably
ulties?
Hey, just pass me the cash. I'll buy some ulties. I was running with commons before, so we're getting there bit by bit. I ran the priority on the Lightning Storms, but Darklaw is so damn good. I should cut back on the cussing. Huh?
This ain't a family channel, you're good.
I mean, the great thing about Darklaw is obviously it's a macrocosmos, and you can rip one of your opponent's special searches out of their hands. I actually try to avoid ripping cards out of their hands if possible, because that does make Darklaw a target for things like Ghost Ogre. But sometimes it's worth the risk.
They can't over that.
No, to destroy it.
It oversends.
No, wait. What am I thinking of? That can destroy Darklaw in response to its effect.
Gamma.
Yeah, that's it. Whenever my opponent activates, I don't know. I got Gamma mixed with Ogre, but the fact that you can always rip a card out of your opponent's hand and you have a macrocosmos is fantastic. You right?
Yeah, what?
Are you wiping your eyes?
Oh, no, I'm good.
The only other thing I run as a dark target is Anki. Sometimes I want to dodge with Ferris. If I special summon Ferris and my opponent has a way to shut it down, I'll mass change into an Anki, just so that I can dodge and keep making my plays. Sometimes it's also great for swing for game, because you can use Anki, swing into one of your opponent's monsters, destroy something, search out mass change, activate mass change, go into Dark Law, swing again. I can't overstate how freaking useful it is. I might be understating how useful it is. That's not the end of the Dodgers, because there's the Blast. He's a blast. Normal Summon Stratos. I'm gonna search. Activate effects of impermanence. And no, I'm gonna mass change the Stratos. Special summon Blast. And the great thing about Blast is that not only can he have attack, but if you pay 500 life points, you can return one of their speller trap cards to the hand. I don't use that effect as often but since sometimes people will force me to go first. But if I can use it, you can get rid of things like, I mean, the list is pretty long, but usually Solemn Judgment is one of the things I see pop up a lot that I end up returning. That's very fun to see return to somebody's hand. Let me rearrange this real quick. I'm going to go over the Link monsters. Cross Crusader. All you need is 2 heroes, and you got your combo. Imperming it can hurt sometimes, because when you special summon it out, you can bring back a Destiny hero, including some of the Fusion Destinies, Malicious, everything except Plasma, which cannot be special summoned by any means except its own. But that's not a bad thing, because you can bring back a Mally, tribute the Mally, search for something important, then just bring back the Mally again. And then the fact that it's a searcher on top of special summoning back key players in your extra deck and out of your graveyard, it's definitely one of the best Link monsters. Even if Master Rule 5, I might still play 2 of these just so that I can keep using it over and over again as the game continues. Wonder Driver. I was a little iffy on this one. For a while I wasn't playing it, but being able to bring back things like Polymerization, Mass Change, even Fusion Destiny is just so great. The fact that you can bring back Fusion Destiny especially comes up a lot, but I love Mass Change. I love Mass Change above everything else because Dark Law is so good. Dark Law is definitely the one thing that has kept Heroes consistently competitive since it came out. Dread Decimator. He's not perfect. He's actually the worst Link monster in terms of utility, but being able to pierce through defense, being able to boost your other hero monsters, that's good enough that I don't mind. I don't mind setting aside space for him. And of course, 3 arrows. If there was a better Link 3 for heroes, I might use it. Right now, I'm perfectly happy with what we got. Now, I've been talking about a lot of things, but since I've been gushing over Fusion Destiny so much, Destiny Hero Dystopia, Destiny Hero Dangerous. I would rather play this first, but he's also great to make your plays. Now, Destiny Hero Dystopia is great because when you special summon him off Fusion Destiny, you can immediately burn your opponent for 16. That's great for time. That's great to give you that little edge if you want to swing for game. And just the fact that whenever his attack is different, either because of extra hero, Dread Decimator boosting it, or Dynatag boosting it, or one other card boosting it, or even Dangerous. Or even if your opponent turns his attack to 0, you can at any moment just return his attack back to 28, destroy a card on the field. I do sometimes use it to destroy my own cards. I'll talk about that later. But it is a fantastic card all around. Dangerous is good if you want to get searches off, if you don't have any, if you already use your Dystopia, if you want to get some extra attack to swing for game. First off, its materials are a Destiny Hero and a Dark Effect monster. Shadow Mist is a Dark Effect monster. Fantastic. Second off, you can discard a card to send a Destiny Hero. You can send a Mally. Why not? And then, of course, he's a great target because he is level 6. Just like all the other extra hero monsters, as long as you have something in your deck, in your graveyard that is above level 5 or higher, you can get this boy out. All you need is a Dusted and something level 5 or higher. Now, I have no idea why he became so important in my deck, but anytime I summon him out, I tend to feel very confident in my win. I'll end with him more often than not. If my opponent board wipes me and I have no other play except the Dark Calling I saved in my hand, Malicious Bane will save me. He's indestructible to battle a card effect. You can, once per turn, Raigeki your opponent's field of anything except face-down monsters. And just having a 3k beat stick is nothing to scuff at. People will kaiju him or Dingirsu him. He's still good enough that I don't mind that so much. And then we have, I'd actually call these as part of a set. Sunrise, Absolute Zero, Mass Hero Acid. Now, the combo that everybody knows is Absolute Acid, and Sunrise makes that more accessible than ever before. You special summon Sunrise off of any kind of effect, then you get to search out. Well, whenever you fusion summon him specifically, you get to search out a Miracle Fusion. If another hero monster is about to get attacked, then you can destroy one random card on the field, or if one of your hero monsters does attack, then you can destroy a card on the field. As long as an attack is declared using any other hero monster, you can destroy something on the field. But the other thing that people don't often focus on, and it's amazing how much people forget this, is that he gives all your hero monsters 200 attack for each different attribute, including himself. So whenever he's basically a 2700 attacker on his own, and people sometimes will swing into him with something that's just a little bit too weak to win. Read your cards. Read your opponent's cards, everybody.
Okay.
Absolute Zero is the fun part of that.
24.
Since Sunrise searches out Miracle Fusion, then you can use Liquid Soldier or something else, special summon Sunrise. Then you can activate Miracle Fusion, banish the Liquid Soldier and something else, special summon Absolute Zero. That alone is fantastic. I don't use it that often, but if I'm forced to depend on any board, then this is a pretty darn good one to depend on. But the other good part of that is that if you use Mass Change on Absolute Zero, you get the Absolute Acid. Boom. Oh, I love this so much. I love this so much. If I could marry cards, it would probably be these guys. Why are you laughing at me? No, it is. So the thing is that if Absolute Zero leaves the field for any reason, doesn't matter if someone shuffles it back into the extra deck, banishes it, puts it in their own deck out off some parasite thing I haven't heard of, then Absolute Zero becomes a Raigeki. If you use Mass Change on it, and it becomes a Mass Hero Acid, then not only does the effect of Absolute Zero activate to send all your opponent's monsters.
So does Acid. That's freaking gay.
Acid destroys the spells and traps.
So basically, a lightning storm.
It's a lightning storm where you don't have to choose the effect.
Yeah.
You get both for the price of one. It's an evenly matched, but your opponent doesn't get to keep one card. It's one of the best things in the world. Problem is, you don't get a lot of chances to use it, because if you do need to depend on it, it's fantastic. But more often than not, Dark Law is what you want to go for if you're going for a Mass Change target. It's good when you need it. More often than not, you either don't need it or you won't get the chance to use it. This is my All Might. If you watch My Hero Academia, this is All Might right here. Vision Hero Trinity. I don't get as many chances to use it as I used to, but he's so good that I can't justify not playing him in the deck. When he is fusion summoned, what you need for him? 3 hero monsters. That's easy. What does he do? When you fusion summon him, he gets double his attack until the end of the turn he's fusion summoned. And then he can make up to 3 attacks per turn. He can't attack directly, but let's say your opponent has a Galatea that's linked up. Fusion summon Vision Hero Trinity, attack that Galatea 3 times with 5,000 attack. That's game, easily. Obviously, if you do hit your opponent with that, they didn't know what you were playing. They didn't have any sort of responses to Trinity. But just that OTK alone is worth it enough that I can't justify getting rid of him for something like Diane, for example, to dodge with Solid Soldier. I've seen some people do that, but I really do believe in this card. This is my All Might.
All right. And then moving on into the side deck.
It's about time, right? I'm gonna start with what I actually would trade out of the side deck if I could, because I don't want to like leave people believing that I'd run things that I don't want to. Royal Decrees and Red Reboots.
Duel.
I would probably trade these for evenly matches if I could.
Gotcha.
I do love them just because I wish we still had Red Reboot back at 3. But as of right now, with certain trap decks that are running around, it's still, I do believe Royal Decree and Red Reboot's pretty good for if I'm forced to go first. Even then, evenly matched is probably better. Then we got Imperial Order and Anti-Spell Fragments. As of right now, the only thing I would change these for are Dark Ruler No Mores, which I do have, but it's fantastic. It's fantastic when we're doing the whenever your opponent is playing a Shadal deck, for example. This shuts him down pretty easy. And one thing about Altergeist that I always remember and is that Altergeist, what's the other deck? Pendulum decks. They can't run anything against anti-spell fragments. And the one reason I worry about Altergeist in particular is because of Secret Village of the Spellcaster. Yeah, you can't Luna Light Tiger either. The only thing that sucks is that you gotta make sure that you're going first, because you don't want to shut down your own cards. Well, you activate Polymerization, but you have your own Imperial Order on the field. Well, I burned myself then, didn't I? It sucks when you doom yourself. Twin Twisters, because sometimes I really hate back row. I hate back row. And it's also nice so that you can discard your own Malicious and discard your own Shadow Mist. The things that I really love in my side deck, of course, are Droll and Lockbird. I know. Don't say it. Rarity bump, right? I have to do it.
Bruh.
But Droll and Lockbird is great. It was actually really good in a mirror match earlier, because, I mean, I know what my opponent's using in a mirror match. Go ahead, some of your Stratos. Stop right there now. And then, of course, Spirals. Everybody's scared of the Spiral plays. They seem to brick a lot, though. And the side deck card that everybody's running. Meteor Boy. Man. Mega Capital G released a video recently about Nibiru, and that was pretty crazy cool. Mostly just Legend. I suggest watching that because it's really cool. And like and subscribe the channel. But Nibiru is fantastic for a multitude of reasons.
One second. I think it paused on me. Okay, go. Continue.
You can banish Nibiru for your to special summon your Malicious Bane. You can use them against everything from Shadal to Spiral to God. There's so many things. If you're playing a Spiral player who doesn't use Appaloosa on their 4th, well, first off, they're not playing correctly. But second off, Nibiru them. If you're playing another hero player, Nibiru them. Just smash the Meteor on a deck that you know is about to summon, is about to be very scared after their 4th summon. The only other thing I would recommend in an extra deck, in the side deck, if I wanted to change it, maybe Prohibition. Prohibition's a great card if you know what your opponent is about to side for. I'll only recommend it if you have something that you know you won't have a response to, that you want to stop. If you want to use it again, if you want to activate Prohibition and say you can't use Nibiru anymore, that's great. If you want to activate Prohibition and say no more Lightning Storms, fantastic. If you don't have protection against something, Prohibition's great. That's the only thing I might suggest if you are willing to spend 3 slots in your side deck for it.
All right. So that's the deck profile, guys. Any shout-outs?
Shout out to my boy Abdul. Shout out
Abdul.
to my boy Drew. What's up, Xavier, Rodrigo, Sam, Orlando, Kenny. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Lamar back here.
right.
Shout out to the United States. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez, here we go.
Shout out to.
All right, guys, that's the
shout
deck
out to you
profile.
guys.
Like, subscribe, and don't forget, you either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. And as always, don't forget to scoop in the end phase.